Wage talks in the gold mining sector were expected to get underway a short while ago. Unions have rejected a proposal by employers for an economic and social sustainability pact. The negotiations come at a time when the industry's fortunes continue to dwindle. The gold price has been hovering around $1,200 an ounce since the beginning of this year. It was at a record high of $1,900 3.5 years ago. There have also been mine closures and massive retrenchments since the last round of wage talks 3 years ago. Unions submitted their wage demands to the Chamber of Mines last month. The NUM wants the salaries of the lowest paid workers, 5,000 rand a month on average, to be doubled. AMCU, which has gained a lot of ground in the gold mining industry recently, is again demanding 12,500 rand a month. And so now we cross over live to our reporter Mbongeni Muthwa. Mbongeni, thanks for joining us. The talks are well and truly underway, so we understand. So what's happening and what have you been hearing on the ground?
Well, what has been happening is that the leaders of the unions, the top leadership, together with the negotiators from the Chamber of Mines that represent the gold mining companies, have been meeting to set the parameters for the negotiations, so to speak. For instance, they've met to discuss and agree on who the chairperson of the talks is going to be. They've agreed that Mo Ali, who is a senior commissioner at the CCMA, is going to be the chairperson of the talks. And then they've nominated and agreed on his deputies. There are 2 people that are going to be assisting him. Right now, they've just had lunch. The leaders have gone back to iron out 1 or 2 issues, apparently, that are outstanding. After that, the talks will officially get underway. There will be a plenary session where the NUM will go first in terms of presenting its demands and elaborating on them, the rationale and so on. They're going to be followed by UASA, and then it will be Solidarity, and then we are told that AMCU will do their presentation of their demands first thing tomorrow morning. Of course, coming to the start of these talks, the Chamber of Mines has been going all out, stressing that, requesting that the unions come to these talks and be sensible about their demands, think about the impact that what they are demanding is going to have on the sustainability of individual mining operations and the implications for retrenchment and job losses. In fact, we can listen to a clip now from the chief negotiator of the Chamber of Mines, Dr. Elise Strydom, on this very point.
We are optimistic. We want to engage with the unions, and we have already in the past 6 weeks signaled to the unions we don't want business as usual. We don't want positional bargaining where they make an offer and we make a counter offer. We want to talk about our industry, the future of our industry, sustainability of our industry, and job security. So we want a different type of conversation. We want us to agree on an outcome that will ensure that our industry remains sustainable for us and for our children and for the country, and that there will be no job losses as a consequence of these wage negotiations.
Now, Mbongeni, clearly the negotiations are likely to be tough, what with the union's demands in an environment where the gold sector is suffering a depressed bullion price, lower grades of gold production and electricity costs rising sharply.
Well, it's very interesting that the NUM, which still remains the majority in the gold industry, at least according to the official figures from the Chamber of Mines, they are sitting at 54% representation in the gold sector. They are coming here with a new leadership, of course, having just emerged from their elective Congress. There's a new General Secretary of the union, David Sipunzi, who replaced Franz Baleni. And he's adopted a very tough line in these talks, rejecting this whole approach of the chamber or the employers to say that we must look at the social and economic sustainability more rather than just rands and cents and so on. He has rejected that. In fact, just a short while ago, I managed to speak to him, and he said if the chamber wants to have that kind of a discussion, they must schedule another meeting separate from this one, because this here is about wage negotiations. In fact, we can take a listen at exactly what he had to say.
The delegation is upbeat. We come here with the hope that the employer won't waste time. They will give the workers what they want.
The chamber this morning saying that they don't want wages to be the focal point. They want to have a conversation with you as Labour about the sustainability of the industry. How do you feel about it? What's your thought?
Well, it has to be the focal point because this meeting is about wage negotiations. If they want to talk about something else, you should convene another meeting for that particular purpose.
Mbongeni, AMCU has long been saying that it has made significant inroads in increasing its members in the gold sector. Has that issue come up at all, and is it likely to disturb negotiations going forward?
Well, that's what a lot of people were expecting to happen here, based on what AMCU has been saying in the weeks leading up to today, especially on that issue that they are disputing the official figures of the Chamber of Mines. They believe that right now they are the majority union in the gold sector, according to their own figures. Interestingly, a short while ago, I managed to speak to the General Secretary of AMCU, Mr. Jeff Mphahlele, and asked him about this. And he struck a very different tone, saying that, well, here there's an agreement about the representation of unions in terms of the size of the delegations that they can bring to these talks. So they are happy about that. With regards to their contention of the official figures of the Chamber of Mines, he's saying they are very happy to continue or to tackle that issue outside of this process, outside of these negotiations. He was very upbeat, saying that they are ready to negotiate. They are here to negotiate, and even on the issue of this proposal of the employers that there needs to be an economic and social sustainability pact. Last week, the president of AMCU, Joseph Mashunju, was quoted as rejecting that out of hand, but Jeff Mphahlele here saying that they are not rejecting anything. They are waiting for the right time for the chamber to make its presentation and explain where it comes from with this, and then they will deal with that at that time. We can actually take a listen at exactly what he had to say as well.
It will be taken concurrently because we have stop orders. We have had a preliminary talk with the companies, and we have to submit those stop orders that have not been captured by these companies.